from tribes. That's at least where I learned about it. Well, no. Attentive listening is something I'm kind of tight about. You don't have to call it that, but I mean, why not? Attentive listening is listening with your eyes, your ears, and your heart. Now, you can think that's sappy all you want, but the truth of the matter is, for our math classrooms to work the way that you want them to work, we have to teach kids to listen with their eyes, their ears, and their heart. And I will tell you the things that I did do with my kids. This is something I did with my kids. So I would say, guys, have you ever been like so pumped about like something that happened at field day, like your team won tug of war, and you came home and you bust through the door, and you're like, Mom, guess what? I can't wait to tell you about this. And your mom's like, what? Okay, sure, tell me. Okay, so today at field day, and she's like, uh-huh. Oh, wow, that sounds awesome. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. Now, ask your real kids this, ask your school kids this, and they're all going to raise their hands. But if I asked you, have you ever been listened to like that? Everyone in here would raise their hands. So then I asked the kids, how does that make you feel? And I want you to think about that. Whether it was your husband doing it, or your sister, or a friend of yours, or your principal, or a fellow teacher, how did that make you feel? So when we talk about having engaging conversations, we've got to teach kids to listen with your eyes, your ears, and your heart. Now, I challenge you this weekend. If you think I'm full of baloney, go this weekend and really make a point of listening to the people in your life with your eyes, your ears, and your heart. So then I ask kids, why would that be important in math? Why does that matter? Turn and talk. I want you to think about the level. If you're wanting that kind of reciprocal, that kind of real-life conversation going on, then I have to listen to you that way. That's the only way that you can listen. Otherwise, it's just superficial. Now, one of the reasons that we designed First 30 Days like we did is if you think that is probably one of the hardest habits to establish. Attentive listening. I'm not going to teach until you are listening to me with your eyes, your ears, and your heart. And if you say that you want to talk, and if you raise your hand that you want to say something, you're not going to talk unless you have everyone's attention. Now, do you want to know about how many times you're going to have to stop in one class period the first week of school to set that expectation? 25. Now, you have to be grade level appropriate. But I will tell you that I do believe that from kinder to high school, we're not expecting kids to listen enough. And I would say that once we're hitting second grade developmentally, we need to expect it. I mean, we do. So, it takes a lot. There's that beautiful moment, and that's one thing that you want to stop yourself from doing right away. You're listening to you like say you're going to do something, and like you want to talk. So then we notice some people don't pay attention. So then what typically happens, look at you, this is the most captive they've been all day. When I want them to not. But what typically happens if kids aren't doing it, then the teacher jumps in and says, excuse me, there are some people that are not attentively listening. Whose job is that? It's your job. So you've got to step back, and part of First 30 Days is you need to expect people, you need to wait. Now, I don't yell, I don't scream, I don't pull tickets. I just wait. Now, if you're some cheesehead that we're having to stop for about 13 times a day in the third week of school, then guess what, Plunkin? I'm your teacher, and just like if you don't know fractions, if you don't know multiplication, what's my job? Teach you. If you don't know how to attentively listen, then that is my job to teach you, because you can't learn if you're not listening. So you and I will just spend time during recess today or after school today, and it's not a punishment. I'm your teacher, and I'm telling you, you can't learn if you're not doing this. Which brings me to the next point that I talked to the kids about. I'm like, oh geez, are we really going to stop for everybody every time? Bless you. Everybody, every time? Let's just say that it's okay if we don't stop as long as it's just one or two people. Now, you might not fall in the trap, but they do. I'm like, yeah, okay, one or two. And I'm like, okay, then I want you to raise your hand if you want to be the one or two. If you want to be the one that gets left behind. Because I can't teach if you're not listening. Because you're important. We send a message to kids that they don't matter when we don't expect them to be a part of the conversation. And they pick that up loud and clear. So these are just Shelley ways of doing it. I told my kids, if you catch me not attentively listening to you, $50. How many times do you think I had to pay a kid $50? Not stupid. Because I attentively listen. My head is like on a swivel. And I think that hopefully you noticed that about me. It's become a part that I really try to make eye contact. And I don't mean the, that. I mean, I really try to make eye contact with you. Now this is the thing for my kindergarten friends. Or anyone that's taught for more than one day. Can you attentively listen to everything that your students want to tell you? Because they want to tell you everything. So that doesn't change when they're older. So the two ways that I battled that was I told them they needed to think about, they needed to be able to assess the situation. You know, if you go home and the macaroni's boiling over and the dog's puking on the floor and the baby's crying, is your mom really going to be able to attentively listen right then? So you need to be able to pick and decide, is this a good time? But there may be times that I have to say to you, I can't attentively listen to you right now. Math's about to start. But I'll talk to you at lunch. Is that good? Or I had conversation journals. And they just wrote down what they wanted me to say, or what they were trying to tell me. And and I wrote back to them at night. Nothing big and long. Just wrote back. That sounds fun. Or whatever. Most of the time, the one that was going to give you the 3-hour-long narrative, they don't want to write the 3-hour-long narrative. They just want to tell it to you. So that dissuades them a little bit. It's one of the most, it changed, but I can pinpoint about 5 things in my teaching career that changed the culture of my classroom. You know, you kind of let go of some things over the years. That's one that I hold on to for dear life. It changes the whole culture. In fact, I still